someone else into the household, maybe a roommate.
Yes.
I've intentionally created this state of harmony between me and my children. And then when I bring somebody else in, I watch it disintegrate. And
you are creating a state of disharmony.
Am I creating that?
We are co-creating it, certainly.
So
nothing happens by itself.
Right.
If you're experiencing it, there is at least some part of you that's involved in the co-creation somehow, especially if you believe that in some sense you're actually having an experience of this that's affecting your life, that you're creating an experience of. So obviously you have a part in co-creating this. Why?
Right. Why would I choose to?
Yes, that's a good question. Why? What do you get out of choosing that? That's usually the question to ask. If there is something disharmonious in your life, something that doesn't fit, something that's not aligned with your preferred vibration, the only reason you would be involved in helping to co-create that would be that you have a belief that says that in order to do so, you're getting something out of doing it.
Right.
What would that be? And by the way, what game are you playing? Is it cards where you're not revealing your hand?
I don't know.
Playing poker, are you?
Maybe.
Not going to tell you what I'm holding on to here. What are you doing? What game are you playing? What do you get out of the idea of putting yourself in situations that seem disharmonious with respect to the idea of your children? What story are you teaching them? What stories were you taught that you are passing along to them?
That harmony doesn't exist in a family.
All right, well, so you feel that the only way harmony can exist is if you create it in some sort of isolated situation, yes? But as soon as another random element comes in, you have no capacity to allow for harmony. Is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. You believe it's beyond you, in a sense. Yes?
I don't relate to it.
You don't relate to it?
I've chosen not to relate to it.
All right. Well, what aspects within yourself do you find disharmonious with your true self? What beliefs are you holding on to that are disharmonious? All right, I'll ask it another way. A lot of times it's easier to find out what those negative beliefs are by going in the opposite direction with them, by amplifying and magnifying the negative beliefs. So ask yourself this. What is the most fearful, terrifying thing you can imagine might happen if you were willing to simply allow harmony in all situations?
That it would not last.
That it would not last. All right, very good. Why do you believe it would not last?
Because it hasn't.
So what? What's the past got to do with the present?
Nothing.
You know that for a fact? Guess not.
I guess not.
You understand that the present creates the past, not the other way around?
Yeah, I've experienced that.
All right. So the more you allow yourself to choose to be harmonious in the present and know that you can always choose to be harmonious in the present, it's not about the issue of harmony lasting, because you're putting a condition on it that requires a, shall we say, maintenance issue, which makes it seem difficult. I have to keep doing something to maintain harmony.
Right.
But if you just prefer the vibration of harmony, you don't have to do anything other than continue to prefer the vibration of harmony in order to continue to experience harmonious realities. Again, remember what we said earlier. Even if someone else has a negative intention or disharmonious intention toward you, it won't matter, because the only thing you'll experience is harmony if that's the vibration you choose to filter everything through. You may still be able to recognize that they may be acting disharmoniously, but it won't affect you because you're not choosing to match their disharmonious vibration with your own fears. That it won't last. And thus you create self-fulfilling prophecies. I believe it won't last, therefore I attract someone who's going to be disharmonious, thus proving to me that I believe it won't last. Thus I have created this prophecy, and look how prescient I am.
Right.
You see, you're reinforcing the belief. But you see, this is what beliefs do. This is what beliefs are designed to do. By definition, any belief has to be self-reinforcing in order for you to be focused on the reality that is generated by that belief. So a negative belief is going to make it seem as if you can't have a positive belief. That's going to be tough to maintain a positive belief, because the negative belief is doing everything in its power to maintain the negative reality that goes with that belief. That's what comes with the territory. But if you understand the skeleton key, that all beliefs can be changed no matter what type of a belief it is, then even when you experience a negative belief that is attempting to reinforce itself and make it seem as if no other belief is possible, you will always be able to go to that neutral space and go, but I know that all beliefs can be changed. And then you have the key, you can unlock yourself from the negative one, and you can choose whichever one you prefer. But you have to know, you have to believe that that key of unlocking is always there for you. Because every belief is going to do its utmost to reinforce itself and make it seem as if no other belief is possible. You understand?
Yes.
And that's why when you really tip the scale and really choose a positive belief system, that will also reinforce itself. And the idea that you could, quote unquote, slip into or choose a negative belief over time will become unlikely, because it will seem unrealistic and irrelevant to you. Because you have positive beliefs that reinforce the idea of the realities that go with those beliefs, which doesn't include the idea that you need to choose to buy into negative ones. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Does this help you? Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
Yes.
And?
So I just need to hold space for myself to be harmonious in the present moment.
Well, don't you prefer the idea of harmony?
Absolutely.
Well, allow yourself thus then to use this opportunity to dive down, to investigate what beliefs you've attached to the idea that says that you cannot experience that harmony in all situations for yourself.
Okay.
When you find out and identify what that negative belief is, when you truly bring it to light, you will see most likely that it's illogical, nonsensical, has nothing to do with you, doesn't belong to you, is a belief you picked up from someone else somewhere along the road growing up, and that you can be carrying this bag around your life, and you can drop the bag because it's heavy. Anything that doesn't belong to you gets heavy. The things that belong to you are light. You understand?
Yes.
That's how you know you're dragging around a negative belief that belongs to someone else, is you start feeling weighed down by it. So, find out what it is, and as soon as you identify it, you'll see, oh, wait a minute, that makes no sense for me. That's not who I am. That belongs to so-and-so. You don't want to hold on to a belief that doesn't belong to you, because if you do, that makes you a belief thief. You're stealing other people's beliefs. You don't want to be a thief. Give those beliefs back to them. Drop them. Oh, that doesn't belong to me. It's not mine. When you know it's not yours, you'll let it go. Make sense?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask or make one more statement?
Yes.
Went to Upheaval Dome a couple of days ago.
Yes.
And it was very intense. The energy.
Yes. I told you it would be.
Up top. But we actually hiked down into the bottom and got, close to the center of it.
Yes.
And I actually didn't really feel much down there.
That's all right. It's a different composition down there.
Can you explain a little more about that?
When the asteroid struck and created the crater that you now refer to as Upheaval Dome, a lot of the highly salted mineral down below was pushed up into the center, which is why it's a different color than the surrounding rock. Mm-hmm. The idea of the salt is a neutralizer. Do you not know this in your old occult practices? Oh, salt, neutralize the negative energy, yes?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, that's an intuitive understanding that salt, the vibration of salt, in a sense, is a neutralizer. And that's why you don't feel it so much down there. It's like the eye of a hurricane. Everything's calm and still. The energy's there. The vortex is there. It's just as strong. It's just that it's a neutralizing, balancing vibration so that it buffers you and you don't feel it as much as you do in the surrounding areas. Yes?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that help you?
Mm-hmm. My friend that went with me, who's also my new roommate that I was talking about, when we went, the reason we went was he got a message that just go there and we will meet you there. So there was some kind of, expectation or anticipation maybe.
What did we tell you about following your excitement and expectation?
Right. And I felt like the experience of going on an 11-hour hike that we almost didn't. We got lost, and it was kind of scary.
Yes. Sounds like fun.
That was we, right? Like, I felt, my perception was that the experience was we, the whole, just
yes.
being present. And
yes. And it gives you an opportunity to explore and examine different vibrational states that are representative of different parallel realities so that you can decide which one you prefer.
Cool.
Believe me, when any of you are truly ready, as you say, nothing will stop the idea of contact. We've been doing this a long time. We know what we're doing. Trust us. And as we have also said, many of you actually already had contact, you just don't remember. And the rate at which you actually remember that you've had contact, whether in dreams or memories or what have you, we use as a barometer to determine when you're ready for more contact. So, let it unfold naturally. Don't have an expectation or an insistence or an assumption on how you think it needs to unfold. We've done this before, we'll do it again, and in the future, so will you with another planet. So learn our techniques now, because you're going to use them generations hence when you become another civilization's UFOs. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Nania,
Yes,
are you approaching your refreshment period?
we are. How intuitive of you.
Why, thank you. Thus then, we will extend to each of you our deep appreciation for the co-creation of this interaction, which we will continue after your refreshment break. Go and be energized and relax. Our unconditional love to you all.
Thank
it
you,
going?
everyone. How's it going?
Good.
Yes, how good. They're still here, Darryl.
Huh?
They're still here.
Yeah.
That's
they're
a good
still
sign.
here. Okay.
Okay, we will reconvene after lunch at approximately 2 p.m. So see you all then.
To die, to go into spirit fully, not experience the idea directly of what you call physical reality.
Okay, so where's the line where the dream starts and the true reality begins? It's really just the physicality?
It's just the frequency that you're operating at. 333 cycles per second, 333,000 cycles per second is the vibrational borderline between non-physical and physical reality. So when you simply alter a pattern of energy within your consciousness in a certain way from spirit, then you direct a portion or a focus of your consciousness in a way that experiences a dream called physical reality. So you have to go in that particular portion of your consciousness lower than 333,000 cycles per second.
So there's no such thing as still being in the dream as a non-physical.
Well, yes, in a sense, because every level within all that is another type of dream. But we simply assume you were referring to the physical version.
No, I want to know, like, is there like an actual waking up completely at some level of the all that is, or would that be going back into the one, which you said you can't really do?
Correct. So in a sense, it's always the one or the portion of the one that is capable of being aware of itself, and therefore it is always, in a sense, a type of a dream, but that's what reality is.
Okay.
Because it's all just happening within the idea of consciousness, of self-awareness.
I see. So maybe the dream itself is the idea that there's another, because that's
Correct.
not true.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
So yes,
And-
the dream is the one's idea that there is another. That's what creates self-awareness, is that the self is defined by the fact that there's something that appears to be other than self.
Okay.
That is the dream, because there is nothing other than self. But you can have the dream experience that there is.
Okay. And so the process of awakening, within that, there's always going to be the positive and the negative.
And
correct?
the center point.
And the center point.
And remember
It's-
that the center point, being a point of balance, in a sense, tips the scale slightly toward the positive. Because in a point of balance, you still have the freedom to choose what you prefer, and that's a positive state of being.
Right. So is is there always going to be consciousness inhabiting all of those frames, all of those options?
Well, it's existence itself, yes. So it can't cease to exist. Consciousness is simply the expression of existence being self-aware. Existence can't stop existing. That's its natural quality, is to be. And it can't go anywhere because there's nowhere for it to go, because by definition, non-existence doesn't exist. That's its quality, to not be. So that which is cannot become that which is not.
So like just at a practical, in an example, let's say that I am a version of myself that is like fighting with my father.
Yes.
And then I make a choice to mend things and make a more positive choice.
Yes.
Mending things with my father.
Yes.
Let's say there's another version of me that continues to fight with my father.
Yes, in a sense, but that's not where you're focused anymore. In terms
Okay.
of the journey that your particular reflection is experiencing. You've chosen a different set of frames in the film strip, even though the
Right.
other film strip still exists.
And there's a consciousness inhabiting. There will always be some.
There will always be consciousness in everything because everything is consciousness.
I see.
Everything is made of consciousness.
So it's always going to be beneficial to the all that is to have some consciousness in that negative experience. Quote unquote.
It is what it is. In that sense, it can't be anything else. It is what it is, and everything that it is what it needs to be. Because that's what it is. Otherwise, it would be something different.
Okay.
So needs all of it in order to be what it is. Just like you need all the puzzle pieces in order to form the whole picture. Without one piece, there's no whole picture.
And so let's say, so then I make that choice to go into these other set of frames that are
Yes.
more positive.
Which you are doing constantly anyway.
Right. So what happens to the consciousness that was just inhabiting that frame? Like, do I kick another consciousness out?
No.
Where's it
No. You have to sort of look at this from a multidimensional perspective. A shift of focus of a level of consciousness is happening on a certain level. The idea of the consciousness having the experience is on a different level. So you can, from a higher level of consciousness, shift your focus, but that doesn't change the fact that, by definition, a certain, let's just say, lower level of consciousness is simply constantly in that frame. You don't destroy the frame just because you've shifted your attention to another frame. Whatever's going on in that frame, whatever that frame represents, is still that frame and always will be. And that's a different level of experience and consciousness than the level that you're shifting your focus from. So just because you have looked at one frame and sort of contemplated what's going on in that frame, and then shifted your focus to another frame, you're shifting from a different level than what that frame represents as its own symbol of an experience. That never changes. It's made of consciousness, but that never changes what it is, because that's what it is that symbol, that expression of consciousness. But you, from another level, have the ability to take your focus off that frame and shift it to another frame. And shifting your attention to another frame changes nothing about the frame you were focused on before. It is what it is, as another level or expression of consciousness. But you have a level of consciousness that experiences the idea of flexibility, of shift, of change. That's a different level of consciousness you're coming from than the level of consciousness that is used to create the frame.
And so from that perspective, I know that reincarnation doesn't exist in that way, but
Yes.
why wouldn't my consciousness then focus as another person?
Because when you're experiencing things from a certain framework of time, you need that sense of continuity to create the story of a before, a middle, and an after. That's just the way you perceive things from that level of experience.
I see. But eventually, like, I'm not perpetually forever experiencing myself as this identity. Eventually I'll move on, right?
Again, you create the idea of moving on, yes.
I don't want to be stuck forever as this person. All right.
You're not stuck anywhere at any time for any reason whatsoever. I would not necessarily encourage you to label the idea as being stuck. Otherwise, that's how you'll experience it.
Okay. Well, yeah, because billions of times per second, I'm literally.
Exactly. You're always changing. The very idea of the experience that you call change happens because you're constantly shifting your focus. Otherwise, you wouldn't experience any change at all. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Good day.
Sure.